About HTML today. So just I'll give a brief introduction about HTML. Okay.
Okay.
So here, so you can keep it on mute your from your side because I'm able to hear my voice. It is echoing my voice. You can keep it on mute from your side. If you have any questions, you can unmute it and you can ask the questions. Okay.
Okay.
So there will be no disturbance in between.
Okay.
You can put it on mute. Thank you.
One second. Give me a second.
HTML stands for, as you know, HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language.
Okay.
So, so what is the purpose of HTML here? Why do we use HTML? So HTML is a markup language. So HTML is a markup language which is used to create or develop web pages. Main purpose of HTML is to create web pages. That is the purpose of HTML language. So it is a basic foundation. It is a basic foundation for creating web pages. The basic foundation for creating the web pages, and it is the authoring language. So it is the authoring language for creating web pages or for writing web pages, I'll say. So it is a basic foundation in the sense. So we start creating a HTML document or a web page using HTML. That is the starting point. So we start writing the web pages using HTML, and I'm saying like it's an authoring language in the sense. So like if I'm writing a book, I'll be using some language like English or Telugu or Hindi or French or German or like that. In the same way, if I want to create an HTML page, HTML document, if I want to create an HTML document or if I want to create a web page, so I have to write the web pages in HTML language. The writing language here for creating the web pages is HTML. So for writing the web pages. So coming to markup language, if you take a markup language is not a programming language. So markup language is not a programming or a scripting language. It's not a programming language or a scripting language. So it is just a markup language. HTML is just a markup language. So what is a markup language? A markup language is a system for annotating electronic documents. In such a way, annotating electronic documents by providing some special symbols or using some characters inside special symbols in such a way that the computer, or here for example in our case, that the computer or an application or a software can understand or can distinguish between the markup and the content. So as you know, your document will contain some content. So along with content, we will be also writing some. We'll be annotating. Annotating in the sense, we'll be marking up the document with some special symbols or some special characters or something like that. So if we take markup, for example, if I say markup, what do you mean by markup? So markup is simply, for example, uh, let me take one example here. When you're writing notes, class notes, when you're taking the notes, so we'll be writing the text, whatever the lecturer or the professor is dictating, we'll write notes, the text content. And sometimes along with the text content, we'll be marking some part of the document, some part of the notes here, like by providing underlines or making the text in bold letters, or you'll be changing the colors, or you'll be underlining the content, or you'll be drawing some arrows and writing some extra additional notes in the margins like this. So that is nothing but we are writing the notes plus we are using some special symbols like underlining or drawing circles or drawing arrows or making it bold or changing the color of the text, everything. Okay. So that is nothing but we are marking up the document there. We are marking up the notes. So we are giving some special instructions to ourselves, saying that these points in the notes are important, so that we can read them while doing the revision during the examinations. So that is what we call it as a markup. So highlighting some part of the content. So that is nothing but it's called as the markup. So here HTML is used for marking up the HTML document. So here, so HTML is used to provide, to create content. Main purpose of HTML is used to create content of the web page. Content of the web page. And second thing is providing markup instructions. Along with the content, so along with the content, it is used along with the content, it provides markup instructions. To the web browser here. So it is giving markup instructions to the web browser as how to format or display or render the content while displaying the web pages. Okay. So how we are providing markup in HTML is we use tags actually. So markup is nothing but, for example, another example, let me tell you what is meant by markup so that you can easily understand. So for example, so I'm having a function at my home. So for that function, I want to invite guests. For that, what I'll be doing is I'll be printing an invitation card here. So for printing the invitation card, I'll go to a printer. So not computer printing, I'm talking about the traditional printing. So I'll go to a printer there and I'll give him the content and ask him to print the print the invitation cards there. So now the person at the printing press, so first he'll prepare the content. He will draft the content. Okay, he will create the manuscript. So later, along with the manuscript, what he'll do is he'll provide some markup instructions. So using some special colors or special symbols, what he will do is he will provide some markup instructions like this part of the text to be displayed in bigger font size, or this part of the text to be underlined, or this part of the text should be printed in bold letters. This part of the text to be printed in italics, like that. He'll be giving instructions like, along with the content, is providing some markup instructions like this content, this part of the content should be displayed in bigger font size. This should be printed in bold. This should be printed in italics, like this. He'll create the content plus, along with the content, he'll provide the markup instructions. So once he completes the manuscript, what he'll do is he will send it to the person who will print the invitation. So now the printer, the person who is printing the card, so he will print the card. So while printing the card, or while printing the content of the invitation card, so what he will do is he will take the instructions, whatever instructions are given to him. Okay, this part of the text should be displayed in bold letters, and this part of the text should be displayed in bigger font size. So along with the content, he will not print the content as it is. He will take the markup instructions, and as per the markup instructions, he will change the appearance of the text, like making it bold or making it italics, or making it underline, or printing it in bigger font size, everything. So that is nothing but its markup. So here also using HTML. The main purpose of HTML here is, why we are using HTML is, so HTML is, like I said, it's used for creating the content. What part of the web page we are creating is, so HTML is used for creating the content of the web page. So creating the content, in the sense, it can be text, or it can be image, or it can be audio, video, graphics, animations, or any multimedia content here. So don't limit to text only content. If I'm saying content, so the content can be text content, or it can be pictures, or it can be audio, sound, or it can be video, or it can be graphics, or it can be animations, or it can be any multimedia content here. So using HTML, we are creating the content of the web page. So not only the content of the web page, we are describing or defining the content here. Describing or defining the content. We not only provide the content, we'll provide some meaning to the content along with HTML. So, and providing the structure of the web page. So we create the content, we describe the content, and provide the structure. Structure, in the sense, some structure. So it's not layout, some structure like this, like creating paragraphs, creating headings, or creating tables, creating lists like this. That is nothing but we are structuring or providing headers, footers, or providing sections, articles. This all comes under the structure of the web page. We are creating the content, as well as we are creating the structure of the web page. We'll be structuring the content which we write inside the web page using HTML. So defining, or, so here I said, we are describing or defining the content, which not only provide the content, HTML not only create the content, it will also provide meaning to the content. What is this content? It will describe the content. For example, if we take here, if I'm saying 24 here, so 24 are some numbers, let's say some 36. So 36 is a number. Okay. So it is 36. So what is this data exactly? What is this data? What is this 36? What is this number 36 here? So we are not having any meaning. I know it is 36, but it is not providing any description. The data is incomplete here. So it can be age of a person, or it can be price of a product, or it can be some code number, or it can be age of a person, or marks of a student secured in some subject, anything it can be. But it is not providing the description of the data. It is just providing the data, but I don't know what is that data exactly. Whether it is age of a person, or price of a product, or a bus number, or some employee code, or marks of a student, or age of a person. So we doesn't know about this thing. So HTML not only creates the content, it will provide something like, for example, if just for example I'm saying, so it will provide some meaning to the content like this. Now if it is something like age, or it's the same thing, if I say price, so this is price, like this. Not only create the content, it will describe the content, it will provide a meaning to the content. Like this is the title of the web page, this is the body of the web page, this is the main heading of the web page. Like this, it will provide the meaning to the content as well as. So it creates the content, it defines the content, as well as it creates the structure of the web page. So that is the main purpose of HTML. So here one thing I want to make it clear is HTML is not for the main purpose of HTML is not for designing a web page. Not for designing a web page. So do not use HTML for designing web pages. We can design web pages using HTML, but the main purpose of HTML is not designing. We are creating the content structure of the web page using HTML. We use it for that purpose only. We have another technology, CSS. So CSS is for designing the web page. We shouldn't use HTML for designing. So while designing the real-time web pages, make sure that you are not using HTML for designing the web pages. So you use CSS or anything like Bootstrap for designing the web pages, not HTML. So now, how you are going to write? So if we take a HTML document, it will contain two things. So HTML document, or we can call it as a web page. So your HTML document contains two things here. One is content. The content which you want to share with the end user, which you want to share with the end users or audience on the web, that is World Wide Web, www. So you're creating the content which you want to share, that you'll be writing. Along with that, you'll also providing markup instructions. Two things. You're creating content, plus you're giving markup instructions as well as. So here in using HTML, how you are providing the markup instructions? So text is, you are writing the content like text only. Okay. So I'm saying while creating the HTML document, I'll be writing the content in the form of text only. While displaying, it will display it in text or images or anything while displaying the web page. But when I write the content, it will be in text format only. So what are the markup instructions here is? So we call them as HTML tags. So tags are the markup part of HTML. The tags are the markup part of HTML. So what is a tag here? So that means here, if you take your HTML document, so it contains content which you write it in the form of text, and it will also contains the tags, which is nothing but tags which are markup instructions. Which you write in the form of text also. Both things you are writing in the form of text only, content as well as the markup instructions. Like I said, you are giving markup instructions to the web browser, like Chrome or Firefox or Internet Explorer or Safari or Opera or any browser here. So now, browser, if you take a browser, is a software application. It's just a software application. So how the browser can identify which is content and which is markup instructions. So there should be a way for the browser to distinguish between the content text and the markup text, because both are written in the form of text only. How can the browser will able to identify, okay, this is content, I need to show as it is, and this is markup instructions which I need to format some of the content. So how the browser will know is, so here I can say a tag is a keyword. It's a keyword or a command or whatever you can say. It's a command. It's a keyword or command. I say keyword only. So tag is a keyword enclosed in angular brackets. Tag is enclosed in angular brackets like plus sign and greater than symbols. The tag is a keyword enclosed in angular brackets. So that's how the browser, whatever you put inside angular brackets, that will be treated as a tag. So tag will be in this form. So it will be written inside angular brackets. So which provides, so which is the markup part, and provides instructions to the browser, provides instructions to the web browser as how to render the content while displaying the web pages. So it will not display the content as it is while displaying the web pages. For example, let me show a simple example here. So here I'll just write some content here. So just I'm creating a web. So I'm writing some content. Welcome to World Wide Web. Okay, here I'm saving this HTML document with some .html. Suppose so here I'm creating. I'm saving the file. Sorry, I'm saving the file with .html extension. So I'm giving some test page.html. Test page.html. That is my file name. So save. So I saved it in D drive. In D drive, I created a folder by name HTML online, and the file name is testpage.html. So this is the source code. This is the source. I written like this. So now I want to display the output of this one. So if you open it in browser, so that is the web page. HTML document is the source, and the web page is the output of that one. So now I'll open it in the browser, like in Chrome it will open. So this is the content. So this is the content which are written, and this is the output of that one. So it is displaying the content as it is. Normal text, and here also normal text. So now what I'm going to do is, so I'm making some changes to the source code here. Like I'm providing markup instructions. So here I'm telling the browser, don't display the content as it is. So take my instructions here, underline, U tag, I'm providing in the form of tags. So what the browser will do is, it will take my instructions, that is underline, and it will underline the text while displaying the web page. See here. Sorry, I didn't save the page. So first I need to save the document, save it. Then I will reload it. Now if you observe, I'm zooming it. So it is underlining. Or for example, instead of U tag, I'll be using some I tag, italics. So display it in italicized characters like slanting portion. Or don't display the content as it is, make it bold. Display it in bold characters also. So that will be displayed in bold characters like this. So tag is providing instructions. So this is the content. Along with the content, we are providing some tags. So this will give instructions to the browser as how to render, how to produce the output while displaying the web pages. So don't print as it is. Take my instructions, and as per my instructions, render the content I'm sending. So that is about tags. So tags is the markup part, which is the important thing. Okay. So here most of the tags in HTML comes in pairs. Comes in pairs. So they will not come, most of the tags, I'm not saying all the tags, most of the tags. Some 85% of the tags or 90% of the tags, they will come in pairs. Okay, come in pairs. So pair in the sense 2, 2. So opening tag and second one is closing tag. Opening tag and closing tag. So like I said, a tag will be in this form. For example, we are having some tags. All are predefined tags. Okay, all are built-in tags in HTML. For example, in HTML we are having tags like head, body, title. Like this, we have almost 130 to 150 tags there in HTML. So title, p tag, div tag, span tag, br tag, img tag, hr tag, anchor tag, like this. There are so many tags there. So all the tags, if you observe, they are enclosed in angular brackets. So whatever is enclosed in angular brackets, whatever is written in the angular brackets, that will be treated as tag by the browser. That is what it's known. So anything which is written inside less than and greater than symbol, that will be treated as a markup instruction by the browser. Even if I write my name something like this, my name as a tag, but it doesn't understand how to process this tag.
Actually, what is the difference between the tag and attribute?
That we'll see later. I'll
Oh,
talk.
okay.
Okay, whatever you write in angular brackets, that will be treated as, because as you know, it's an application, it's dumb. It's not smart or intelligent as human browser. So whatever we are telling the browser, whatever written in angular brackets, treat it as a tag. So
Okay.
that is what it will do. But it doesn't know how to process this one. It knows it is a tag, but it thinks I don't know how to process this one. So it will simply ignore it off. Most of the tags here comes in pairs, opening tag and closing tag. Okay, so what is opening tag? What is the purpose of opening tag? The opening tag will mark the beginning of instruction. This is where my instruction starts. This is the starting point of my instruction. So start from here, and we need to provide wait to end also. So that's what closing tag, answer, end of instruction. We need to provide way to start and way to stop. Clearly, we have to tell. So start from this point to this point. So whatever is written inside this open tag and closing tag, that will be rendered as per the instructions given. That will be displayed as per the instructions given here. Formatted, whatever you say. So as you know, opening tag is like this. So now, how the browser will differentiate between open tag and closing tag? So here, a closing tag is same as opening tag, but it contains a slash, forward slash, which immediately follows after the less than character. That means if tag is like this, so he'll be writing some content here inside this. Closing tag will be having a slash character like this. So this is the starting point and this is the ending point. For example, if we take a title, this is the open tag and closing tag will be like title. Suppose if HTML tag is there, so closing will be slash HTML. So we should mark the beginning of instruction and end of instructions in the same way. If I say head, then closing will be headline. String. Okay, so most of the tags comes in pairs. Okay, so here one thing I can say. So we have something called as pair tags. So if a tag contains both an opening tag and a closing tag, then it is known as pair tag. So if a tag contains both an opening tag and a companion closing tag, then it is known as a paid tag. So next thing here is so I told most of the tags. So some of the tags will not having closing tag. So only opening tag will be there, no companion closing tag will be there. So these are known as empty tags. Or we can also call it unpaid tag. So if a tag contains only an opening tag, then those tags are called as unpaid tags. So for example, we are having BR tag. So BR tag doesn't have a closing tag. It doesn't require a closing tag. Just if you give the instruction, that's enough. There is no need to tell the ending point here. Like this, IMG is also doesn't have a closing tag. In the same way, anchor we doesn't have a closing tag. So most of the tags have companion closing tag, but some tags will not have closing tag. So those are called as, like I said, unpaid tag. If a tag contains only an opening tag and no companion closing tag, known as unpaid tags. This is about tags. So a tag is enclosed in an angular bracket. So it contains opening tag and closing tag for something. And sometimes it will be having only opening tag. So tags are the markup part of HTML, hypertext markup, whatever markup is there. So tags are the markup part of HTML document. Which provides instructions to the browser. And how to render the content while displaying the website. So here HTML is not case sensitive. HTML is not case sensitive. Case sensitive language. So what I mean tagging we can write it in lowercase or we can use some case like this. Can write it in it. So take for example, I can write it this, or I can write like this, or I can write like this, or I can write. Anyways, I can write it in any form. Okay. But the standard practice is to write HTML tags in lowercase. So that is we need to practice writing the HTML tags in lowercase. But that is not a rule or that is not syntax or anything. We can write it in any case, but preferably we have to write it in Golang. That is standard practice. So that all will be following the same way of writing the tags, all the users, all the web developers, web orders will use the same way, consistency for writing the tags. In lowercase, that's why it is preferred to write it in lowercase. Another thing what I want to tell you is, so we are writing HTML language in plain text. We are writing it in plain text. So markup language is just plain text. So that's why HTML is platform independent. So it is not dependent on any operating system. Or any OS. So we can create HTML documents, pages, Windows, or in Linux, or in Solaris, or in Apple Macintosh. So likewise, we can display the web page created in any operating system. So why this platform is not binary code or anything, it is just plain text. So that's why it's platform independent. It is a platform independent. So that means we can create your web documents, web pages in any operating system. If you have any Windows system, we can create in Windows. All this. So likewise, what minimum software requirements to create HTML? So what software do I require? Minimum software. At least we should be having this software for writing HTML, HTML documents. So a simple text editor. Simple text editor is a simple plain text editor. It's just enough to write HTML documents like Notepad in Windows. Linux will be having PI editor in Linux. Or we take simple text programming. Or nowadays we are having Apple. Second requirement, so this is for creating. Okay, and second requirement is a web browser. Also like Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. Microsoft Internet Explorer. Or Microsoft Edge. Opera, Apple Safari. or lots of browsers like they like UC browser, Mastodon, Chrome, and etc. Any one browser. To see or view the output of the web page. But, so HTML document when opening more back, it will show the source code, whatever you write. So HTML document when open in the browser will display the web page, which is the output of HTML document. We just require a link extension